Thank you, John, and to everybody watching our Grand Forks community, thank you for this opportunity to share the school district's perspective relative to where we're at with COVID-19 and how we are moving forward. First of all, I just want to say that in times like this, it takes extraordinary leadership from our leadership team. And when I talk about our leadership team, I'm talking about our cabinet level district administrators, our directors, our principals, associate principals, and our teacher leaders at all levels of our organization. People have rolled up their sleeves and have led in phenomenal ways that will well position us moving into the future. And frankly, before I get into where we're at and where we're going, COVID-19 has really just accelerated some of the plans that we had in place over the course of the next 2, 3, 4, or 5 years as it relates to distance learning. We've been moving in the direction of blended learning for a couple of years now, having conversations with students, with teachers, with committees called our District Innovations Committee, our multi-tiered support system academic committee, et cetera. So this is not a new conversation for us. We just didn't have all the infrastructure built to do what we're planning on doing as early as next week. So given the governor's decree a week ago from this past Sunday, put us in an unusual situation because on Monday and Tuesday, March 20th and 21st, we were scheduled to be in session and then going on hiatus for spring break that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Had we been able to be in school Monday and Tuesday, it would have made life so much easier for us with deployment of school supplies, student supplies, technology devices, et cetera. But that was not the case. So it's created some challenges for us as spring break ended, and today is Monday, and we have everybody's been invited back to work following social distancing guidelines at the building level, but also giving people the opportunity if they have underlying health conditions or they're in a household with somebody who fits that category, or there are childcare, daycare issues. We're being very liberal in allowing people to come back or allowing people to stay away. So to that end, our plan for this week is we've got a majority of our staff back in buildings today and tomorrow. And what they are doing is putting together and packaging, first of all, priority are technology devices for students in grades 3 through 12. And that basically is to position us to instruct using a distance learning model or virtual education. So the plan that we have for K1 and 2 is more paper pencil activity, and those materials will be deployed this week as well. So here's how it's going to roll. On Wednesday of this week, well, let me just frame everything by providing this disclaimer. All parents are going to hear from their school principal sometime today or tomorrow, likely today, but nonetheless, it's going to set the table for how parents and students will be able to pick up school supplies, devices, etc. All of this will be done from a curbside perspective. No students, no parents, no people outside of our school community will be allowed in the buildings. So the communication that goes out to parents will identify the day, the date, and the time frame of which parents can swing by curbside to pick up student supplies. And so Wednesday of this week, tentatively, that's scheduled for elementary schools. And it won't be just at one pickup point at our larger elementary schools. They'll probably use more access points than just one, so we don't have a log jam. And that will also be the plan for middle schools on Wednesday. So again, parents will be communicated about this plan. High schools, we've got a larger animal to wrestle there with Central High School and Red River when we're dealing with approximately 1,000 students at each of those sites. We will be ready to deploy technology devices on Thursday of this week, and we'll use Friday as a backup day if some parents and students are not able to pick up their things curbside relative to the doors that will be accessed during those times. So the overall plan then is, according to the governor's decree, by Wednesday of April 1st, we need to have online instruction beginning. We think we're going to be ready before that. We'll have information into the hands of parents and students prior to that. As a matter of fact, as we speak, a number of teachers have already reached out to their classrooms and have started some instruction which is a little ahead of schedule. That's fine. We know that some students are anxious about getting back into a learning environment. And so with that, we also need to provide a district level distance education plan and submit that to the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction by Friday or on Friday of this week, and we will meet that deadline. So we have a number of people who are working on that plan, from district administration to principals reviewing that. We'll have some teachers put their eyes on that and provide some feedback and input before we do submit that. So probably I think I'll just try to stay ahead of one of the questions that might come up in terms of access and equity when students are learning from home. The question might be, what if people don't have access? We have surveyed all of our families electronically, and we got a pretty good response rate. We know that we have a small percentage of people who don't have access or they don't have technology, and we do have a plan in place to mitigate that as early as Wednesday of this week, whether we're working on setting up hotspots using devices as the hotspot, or if that means we're going to partner with Midco or some other local or distant vendor to help mitigate the access ability from a technology perspective. So that's where we're at. Teachers are continuing to plan. They're planning collaboratively virtually, or they're planning face-to-face, keeping the social distance expectations guidelines. And we have more detail that will to come, but I hope that this is, generally speaking, a good enough framework to let everybody know that taxpayer dollars are being used wisely, and it's incumbent upon us to provide teaching and learning, which is our central mission, for students who are now